Alright, a lot has happened in the past. Season 7 ended like a billion years ago. The Justin Roiland situation was insane. Smiling Friends is taking over the pedestal. And the anime, the anime, I didn't even know this shit even existed. Fucking flopped astronomically hard. Even so, I've been following this series for a long while and I wanted to express what I think of the show. The whole, who's gonna be the new Rick and Morty voice actors? Was so dramatic in retrospect. There was barely a difference.
A rake situation? I didn't think it'd go on this long. Let's find out. Request denied.
Like, no one fucking cares now, or should have cared. Well, that's kind of a lie, because if they got a whole new voice actor, like they pulled like a solar opposites, then that would have been crazy. People probably wouldn't even bother watching the show if they did that. But what should always matter is if the season's gonna be a banger, because we don't need another season 5 disaster. Okay, I consider that the worst season of the series. I'm pretty sure you do too. The first 3 and 3 last episodes of that season was pretty good, but oh my god. Oh my goodness. What were they thinking when they made these 2 episodes?
Whoa, easy now, Naruto.
Were they snorting Calaxian crystals? I watched the episode on TV when it aired too. All happy and shit. Honestly, I found the sperm episode kind of funny a little, but this episode was just awful. It just left a bad taste in my mouth. Pause. But to be a little bit positive, the season 5 finale was one of the best season finales in all Rick and Morty, coming like second to the one from season 2. With all that being said, I consider this one season to be the most underrated but weirdest in the show. It's season 6. I swear it doesn't get enough or any praise at all. So I'm going to talk about the episodes I felt were just amazing in this season. So let's get straight to it.
Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty.
I love canon episodes, right? We haven't had an opener like this since season 3 that started this strong. Continuing from the finale of season 5, Evil Morty escaping the central finite curve and destroying the Citadel left the rest stranded, canceling the use of portal travel through the episode and the season. Rick tries to reset the portal but ends up resetting all the portal travelers to the original dimension. The Jerry Baree was confirmed. Their actual Jerry was swapped out in season 2 of the ticket 5126. Beth finds out the graves of their original Rick and Morty was buried in the backyard from season 1. I didn't like their nonchalant reaction.
That's what the possums are after.
But this episode was full of callbacks. Every canon episode of Rick and Morty just hits. You can say how lackluster the show is compared to back then, but the episodes that are canon have always delivered or kept me intrigued the most. Anyway, Rick returns to Dimension C-137 where Diane and Baby Beth were kamikazed. Being haunted by the AI of their dead wife used to torture him to seek revenge like he was Guts. No wonder this nigga was able to do this till his 70s. Morty returns back to his original timeline where everything got Cronenberg from that one roofie juice Rick made for Morty. Both were fighting their past demons this episode. Seeing badass Jerry, a perfectly developed Jerry, refusing to forgive himself, refusing to leave, refusing to move on, and rejects an offer to settle down and live a new life, kind of similar to Rick to be honest. Then just leaves Morty brokenhearted by spitting facts, which was his biggest W. I really love this Jerry. This character has a lot of potential. I hope he meets with Space Beth and And finally, the highlight of this episode, the introduction of the new antagonist, Rick Prime. It's revealed that the Rick who killed our Rick C-137 family is actually Morty's biological Rick. Meaning, Morty's original timeline is actually Prime Nigga's timeline, which is a good twist and a good introduction to this character, which is probably why Rick hates the fact that he loves Morty.
Morty, not that I give a but are you okay?
In his new ship, Rick arrives at Rick Prime's skybase. Morty talks Rick out of a suicide mission saying, "You're my grandpa, Rick. Rick and Morty 100 years," which originally started as a joke for the viewers in season 1, but turned into an actual saying. He ends up listening and taking Morty's advice and moves on. The theme of the episode seems to be moving on from your past. After that, the rest of the family reunites and picks up Jerry. And then, the best one-off character, Mr. Frundles, kills season 2 Jerry and then just destroys the fucking planet. Also, I love Space Beth being more more involved with the family now. Both OG and season 2 Jerry are now dead. I felt killing OG Jerry was such a waste in my opinion. And Rick Prime didn't even finish his sentence before shooting him, which is straight badass, not gonna lie. Nah, but he doesn't really give a fuck. Like, he actually doesn't care. I feel he deserves the title of the Rick is Rick. He actually lacks emotional connection towards his family member. Rick says he doesn't care, but he does care. But this nigga doesn't. He clearly actually doesn't give a fuck. He barely even recognized Jerry. Mark my words, man. He's gonna be the new Evil Morty in this story. That's gonna happen. One last thing. This episode is the very first season introduction to not end in the garage. Every season 1, 2, 3 through 5 ended with Rick and Morty or the family in the garage. I'm surprised nobody talked about this at all. I guess nobody cares. But this time it ended in the backyard instead. So yeah, I wish Rick Prime was the new era, the new saga, since Evil Morty just hit the bounce. Alright, that was kind of long. I'm gonna try to sprint through the rest of this. Now, this is the most unique Rick and Morty episode we've got. The most visually stunning episode. The dark tones, the color schemes of this episode had me drooling from my mouth. The episode I'm talking about is episode 4 from season 6, Night Family.
Job is not to make the night people's chores easier. They exist only to do the shit we don't want to do. So until further notice, which will be never, request denied.
This is like the closest we've ever gotten to an evil Summer. Summer being the leader of the Night family was really interesting instead of the usual control of the family, Rick. This was a really good premise, a new concept of an episode. It's giving old scary movie vibes. Rick has technology where the family can program their night self to do tasks for themselves while they sleep, allowing themselves to get stuff done around the house or learn new skills or get in shape, which we can all say that we will all love to have. But the problem is that everyone treated their night person as like a servant. The night people are seen to have separate personalities from their normal selves. Jerry took another W this episode, coming in clutch, befriending his nighttime counterpart before shit hits the fan, which he was previously made fun of for doing. He ended up finding out the Night family had a problem with the task of being exploited. Oh, is it because all the push-ups they had to do? Like, that's a lot hard to do. Nope, not really. They simply just wanted these niggas to rinse off their dishes before putting it in the sink. The Night family was fucking heated, obviously, so they locked Rick out of all his gadgets and gizmos, keeping them prisoners. So Rick planned Summer to be undercover, making a suit to keep Summer awake. She ends up discovering that the Night family planned to extend their consciousness. Honestly, this episode was just amazing. When Summer was forcing leftover food from the sink into Rick's mouth, that had me tweaking, bro. Like, that shit was true horror. Nah, but for real, imagine someone actually doing that to you. I also really liked Morty's abs deflecting Rick's punch, like full counter, and I did not see this scene the first time I watched the episode live. So when I saw this scene on YouTube, I was like, what the fuck? Did I receive a censored version of the episode? When I think about it, this episode is slightly similar to the Toxic episode. I don't know why I think that. I just think they're similar in a way.
First things first.
You go over there.
Step through this
New machine.
What new machine?
Detect.
A nanotechnological hologram.
Follow up your butt.
Run, Morty! Run! Shit! God, seize them! Run! You couldn't have just said that?
At the end, Night Summer proposed a deal with Rick that if he washed off his dish before putting it in his sink, they could come to an agreement. And of course, Rick's petty ass was like, nah! And then they died. I give the episode like a 8.1, 8.1, I don't know, around that range. Season 6, episode 5. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, this episode was honestly pretty enjoyable. What's it about? I can hear you asking.
You will have sex with your mother. I know they're not real. It's just, why is it so specific? You can't let her know this is a thing that might happen.
Might? Maybe the single dumbest human I've ever met, Jerry, which is why it's weird that you're at all likely to.
To what? Why does an operation bigger than the government want me to couple with my mother? You saved me.
But you still have a right to take whatever you want seriously.
Thanks, friend.
To be honest, I don't have a problem with these types of episodes, but when it's back to back in the same season, that's when it gets kind of weird. Like, Dan Harmon, I know this is you, alright? Like, enough with this weird shit. I know Justin had nothing to do with it. Huh, what's that? The incest is the best part? I mean, if you say so, man. But this episode was pretty funny. It's a Rick and Jerry adventure. I don't know why, but I really love their dynamics so much. And I really like the Dr. Octopus arms he used in this episode. It's probably one of my favorite scientist gadgets he used. The fortunes were well done, and the ending was really sweet. The family receives a fortune cookie, but Jerry receives a normal fortune, saying, you know. Jerry becomes paranoid by the situation, so the whole family starts roasting him for it, you know? Jerry ends up asking Rick for help. Rick surprisingly helps Jerry and agrees. It turns out the fortune is real. They both infiltrate the fortune teller headquarters, aka Panda Express, to find that the fortune cookies are a tool used by the rich to control their fate, thanks to some alien shit. But when you receive a fortune and it isn't completed yet, you're immortal. So Rick was using Jerry as a human shield, just straight up violating niggas. While Rick and Jerry tries to stop the fortune paradise, the chances of Jerry having sex with his mother rises. Like, her skirt literally ripped, and I like how unaware she is of what's going to happen. But Rick saves Jerry at the last second, like the last second, but before it happened. Bro, I was like fucking screaming no when this scene came up. They made this shit so tense for no reason. Also, my guess to why Rick was heated at the end was probably because he wanted to use the fortune against Rick Prime. And for the honorable mentions, I noticed Jerry mentioned Sleepy Gary from season 2, and I noticed Rick had his iconic ship returned to him since his new one blew up last episode. Also, I noticed this episode didn't have a B plot, which was cool. Not all the time, but I noticed sometimes the B plot holds down the episode's quality. Remember that episode from season 5 when Morty got a girlfriend named Planet Tina, but they had that dumbass B plot with the hello, that bitch? Yeah. This episode was cool. Weird, but cool. I weirdly enjoyed it. Pause. This might be cap, but this was the only episode that was on par with season 6 introduction. Analyze piss. I know I've been shitting on some episodes, but this episode was my personal favorite for this season. I fucking love this episode so much. Jerry getting W's felt amazing. Rick just doing nice things and him visiting therapy, slowly becoming a better person. Stuff like BoJack Horseman, I just love stuff like that. Mr. Nimbus returns, but Rick is fed up with these annoying ass never-ending lackluster villains who's just desperate for attention, making Rick a walking target. So he's given advice from Dr. Wong that his methods of setting an example, which is killing and milking them, isn't the solution to this problem, but rather ignoring these goofballs in the first place. Rick says, bet. Then the Go himself, Pissmaster, arrives saying he'll give Summer, a teenager in high school, a golden shower, which means pissing on someone for sexual pleasure, in front of Jerry, her father, and just like any father would, beats the living shit out of this nigga.
Sorry, I sexualized you. It came out wrong.
What do you mean it came out wrong? To be honest, what was his thought process? I don't even know why this dude's even trying to press Rick, a literal god in their universe, when he isn't even Jerry level. Anyway, Jerry becomes viral on social media. Everyone's seeing how cool Jerry is and how pathetic loser Pissmaster is. Jerry is then granted a sticky orb with raw power from the Galactic Orb Ship Council, whatever. Jerry then asks Rick for his help. He denies, and then Summer gaslights Rick into making a suit that lets him destroy a planet filled with old Hitler, Mantis Hitler, Riddler Hinter, Harambe Hitler, saving 30 billion lives. Rick then goes back to therapy and then is told, bro, calm the fuck down. What you're doing is working and is positive. Huh? Yeah, you're right. While Rick is out drinking, Rick realizes he relates to Pissmaster, being disliked by many and being known as the biggest piece of shit in the galaxy. He decides to pay him a visit so they can have a drink together.
Please just open up. Dad?
Well, this is it.
Shit.
I'm killing myself because of Jerry Smith.
Just promise you won't, okay?
Seeing them all cheer as I got my ass whipped made me realize
He has to be the biggest piece of shit in the galaxy. What a loser.
people just want to see me fail.
Look, if you were to ever do something, I'd never stop blaming myself.
I can tell you for sure, if anything happens to me, it's 100% not on you. It's my own choice.
All I've ever wanted to do is prove them wrong.
Look, it's Pissmaster!
It's Pissmaster! He's gonna sacrifice himself! That's my fucking dad!
Rick putting on the suit of his enemy, redeeming his image like Arthur, and giving him a good send-off for his daughter was such a selfless thing for him to do. But Jerry did kind of annoy me here when he tried to prevent that shit.
Back here, you ungrateful shit!
And Morty telling the family that Pissmaster actually killed himself, not gonna lie, that pissed me the hell off. You see what I do right there? No, but for real, I kind of understand why Rick just wanted to tell someone rather than withhold that burden, you know, since he trusted Morty. This episode is like a 8 out of 9 out of 10. A classic hero origin story, I fuck with it. So in conclusion, the season's a banger and those episodes are not mid. The title says underrated, nigga. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.